you have this story of a young man who kind of grows up troubled and is an Olympic world-renowned athlete. And he gets thrown into some of the most difficult life situations that I'd ever heard of, from the plane crash to surviving 50 days in the Pacific Ocean, starving, dehydrated, getting attacked by sharks, getting captured by the Japanese. And what struck me was his spirit. He was always positive, like nothing ever really got him down. And it was the whole idea of the word unbroken. One of his captors was his former track coach with the Japanese. He was beaten, humiliated, and belittled every day, and yet he didn't stop. That will within him, that idea of perseverance and determination. When he wins the race against the Japanese soldier, knowing he's going to get beat, and yet he does it anyway. And one of my favorite parts is when he holds the beam over his head all day while being abused by the Japanese camp commander. I thought it was just incredible. Knowing me, I don't know that I could have stayed positive through that whole thing, his will to live. And then I like the human aspect of it. He survives. He comes back to the United States, and he has troubles. I mean, he's human. He, is angry. He starts to drink, and then, he goes to a tent revival, I believe, with Jimmy Baker, and he goes 3 times. And the final night he stays, and what really strikes me is his ability to forgive. The Christian believer in me, could I have forgiven the bird the way he did? And I hate to say it, but I don't think so. And so for me, he's kind of an inspiration, his life story, never giving up, making good out of the bad, opens all those homes for troubled youth and begins to work with them, and goes back to Japan to face the guy and forgive him. And yet he's such, the Japanese guy, the bird, is such a coward, he won't do it. And it was fascinating how the Japanese people turned on the bird. They knew he was a war criminal, and they honored Louis. He always wanted to run in the Olympics. The next Olympics were going to be in Tokyo, and they let him run the torch into the stadium for the Nagano Winter Olympic Games. So that's why I like it, and I like to share it with the students, with your sister, with yourself, and others. Jill McLeod at the Air Force Academy, because you see, I don't want to call it greatness, but you see the potential in a lot of students, and how if they just dig in, they're going to go through troubles, especially in college, but if they dig in and have a little bit of, fortitude and perseverance, they can do great things. So that's why I like to share that story. Just a little, what inspires me may trickle down. And we don't have stories like that anymore. Everything today is like negative. You look at Ferguson, you look at Baltimore, you look at, Washington, D.C. and politics. We need a goal, someone to aim for, to strive at, rather than always having everything torn down and be negative. And that's what I think Zamperini exemplifies, is always being positive. So that's it. Does that work?